Good day everyone, especially to you ma'am. Good day po. Today, I will be answering some questions in regards to the curricular modification in basic education post-pandemic. So for the first question, why do you think the curriculum had to change after the pandemic? Do you agree with the changes? Why or why not? I believe the curriculum had to change after the pandemic because the way the teachers teach and learn was no longer effective for everyone since there's a change in the way of teaching. During the lockdowns, many students couldn't join online classes due to lack of gadgets or internet, and I am one of those students. I don't have cell phone that time, so I still need to borrow cell phone from my kuya. Yes, I agree with the changes. They made learning more focused, flexible, and considerate of students' real situations. Personally, I found it easier to understand topics when we weren't rushing through too many lessons. So for me, these changes were necessary and helpful. For the second question, what learning style worked best for you during the pandemic? Online, modular, or blended? And how will you use that in your future classroom? During the pandemic, modular learning worked best for me. I lived in an area where the internet signal wasn't reliable, so printed modules helped me study anytime. My parents were there to guide me when I needed help. So in my future classroom, I want to give students options. Some might do better with group activities, others with quiet reading, and others might need modules they can take home. I'll use blended style, combining face-to-face lessons and flexible tasks they can do on their own. For the third question, if you were teaching in a place where weak internet and few gadgets, how would you help your students learn using the new curriculum? If I'm teaching in a remote area, I won't rely on internet-based tools. Instead, I will prepare printed modules, activity sheets, and simple learning materials using recycled items. I'll also make sure to include real-life tasks like writing letters or solving daily problems, which connect to the curriculum but don't need gadgets. I'll coordinate with the community, maybe involve parents and local leaders to help deliver or collect students' outputs. Even without internet, learning must continue. And to the fourth question, how can you take care of your students' mental health and emotions as a future teacher? Give at least one specific way. As a future teacher, I know my students' mental health is just as important as their academics. One specific way I can help is by having a regular feelings check-in in class. At the start or end of the day, I'll let them draw how they feel or write it in a journal. I'll also be open to listening when they need someone to talk to. Of course, a kind teacher can really make a big difference in a child's day. So, for the fifth question, what are the good and bad sides of using digital tools like Zoom or Google Classroom? How can you make sure all your students can access them? Digital tools like Zoom or Google Classroom help us continue learning during the pandemic. The good side is we can have live classes, share resources easily, and connect even from far away. But the bad side is that not all students have the gadgets or internet to use them. So to make sure all students can still learn, I'll provide alternative ways like offline tasks, printed modules, or recorded videos they can watch anytime. Accessibility is important for fairness in learning. For the sixth question, why is it important for teachers to understand laws like RA 10533 or I and DepEd's BELCP or the Basic Education Learning Community Plan? How do these support curricular changes? RA 10533 and the BALCP or the Basic Education Learning Community Plan are important because they guide how teachers should teach. RA 10533 makes sure the curriculum is updated and ready for the 21st century, focused on critical thinking and life skills, while the BELCP, on the other hand, was created to make sure education continues even during emergencies like the pandemic. As a future teacher, understanding these policies helps me stay aligned with national goals and make informed decisions when planning my lessons. And to the seventh one, or the seventh question rather. How will you teach both academic lessons and life skills like problem solving and communication at the same time in your class? Well, I believe the best way to teach both academics and life skills is through integrated learning. For example, in a science lesson, I can have students work in teams to solve an experiment. While they are learning science, they're also practicing teamwork, communication, and problem solving. Another idea is role play real life situations like budgeting money or resolving conflicts. It makes learning fun and practical, something they'll remember not just for a test, but for a life. Thank you for listening and for watching. Bye.